Have you ever actually stopped to think about the invisible central nervous system powering the devices in our pockets? Over the last decade, an entire nation has completely transformed how it pays, how it shops, and really how it lives. We've gone from this heavy reliance on physical cash to scanning QR codes for absolutely everything, from a quick cup of tea on the street to literally buying a new car. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to unpack the phenomenal architecture behind India's cashless revolution. It's a system so perfectly integrated into daily life that, honestly, you probably don't even realize just how massive it really is.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. 14.04 billion. And no, that is not a yearly total. That is the number of UPI transactions processed in a single month, just May 2024 alone. Let that sink in for a second. Billions of times a month. Money is moving instantly, securely, seamlessly. But how? Who actually built the highway for all this insane traffic? Well, today we are going to explore the master architect behind that staggering number, the National Payments Corporation of India, or the NPCI.
So to unpack this entire ecosystem, we've got a quick roadmap. We call it our umbrella tour. We're going to cover the core foundation, the high-speed payment pillars, the specialized everyday utilities, and finally how this tech is expanding beyond borders.
All right, starting with Section 1, the core foundation, let's look at the actual DNA of this organization.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that the entity handling trillions of rupees, it's actually a not-for-profit umbrella organization. Seriously, created back in 2008 as a joint initiative by the Reserve Bank of India and the Indian Banks Association, the NPCI is registered as a Section 8 company. So its core mission isn't to squeeze massive profits out of users. Not at all. It's to provide a robust, super efficient, and highly secure infrastructure for the whole banking system. It is basically a public utility designed from the ground up to drive a less cash economy.
And while the RBI sets all the overarching rules, this engine is backed by a really heavy-hitting consortium of 10 core promoter banks. We're talking the major public sector banks like the State Bank of India, massive private players like HDFC and ICICI, and even foreign banks like Citibank and HSBC. Since the beginning, the shareholding has expanded to include dozens of other banks too. And this consortium setup, it's brilliant, honestly. It ensures the entire financial ecosystem is totally invested in the NPCI success.
So who is actually steering this massive ship? It's a board that perfectly blends regulatory oversight right alongside tech innovation. It's led by Managing Director and CEO Dilip Asby and Non-Executive Chairman Ajay Kumar Chatterjee. And what makes this leadership structure work so well is that it actively includes nominees from the RBI, reps from those core promoter banks, plus independent tech and finance experts. It's an engine completely powered by industry-wide buy-in.
Moving right along to Section 2, the core payment pillars. These are the high-velocity lanes of the NPCI highway. Look, to really appreciate the present, we kind of have to remember the past. Traditional banking often meant waiting hours, or sometimes literally days, for funds to clear. It meant manual processes, double-checking super long account numbers, and, of course, a heavy reliance on physical cash. Well, the NPCI completely flipped that model on its head. They replaced it with a digital infrastructure that is real-time, working 24/7, 365 days a year. It's mobile-first, using these instant virtual addresses so you never actually have to share your real bank account number with a merchant ever again.
And the absolute crown jewel of this whole shift, that would be the Unified Payments Interface, or UPI. So the crucial point here is that UPI is truly unified. It empowers you to merge your entire financial life, multiple different bank accounts, into a single, highly secure, PIN-protected app. Whether you're just splitting a dinner bill with a buddy or paying a local merchant by scanning a QR code, UPI routes the funds seamlessly and instantly. No more hassle with exact change, no fumbling for physical cards, no exposing sensitive bank details. It's a real game changer.
But before UPI totally took the global spotlight, there was IMPS, the Immediate Payment Service. This was the foundational breakthrough that really set the stage. Think about how revolutionary it was back then to suddenly be able to transfer funds between banks instantly, completely round the clock, even on weekends or bank holidays. It remains an absolute lifeline for emergency fund routing today, and it's a critical layer of the NPCI's architecture.
We also absolutely have to talk about RuPay. This is India's very own domestic card network built from scratch to rival those massive international giants. Issued by an incredible 1,100-plus banks, RuPay cards feature high-security EMV chips and contactless transit tech. And because it keeps the transaction routing domestic, it significantly lowers the costs for Indian banks and merchants. It's a massive point of national pride, honestly, completely fulfilling that vision of a self-reliant digital economy.
Okay, on to Section 3, Specialized Utilities and Services. This is where we see daily life getting automated.
Take the Aadhaar-enabled payment system, or AEPS, for example. This right here is where cutting-edge tech meets profound social impact. By linking bank accounts to Aadhaar, which is India's biometric ID system, citizens out in remote, rural areas can access their cash at micro-ATMs using nothing but their thumbprint. Seriously, no debit card, no smartphone, no PIN required. It is literally a masterpiece of financial inclusion, making sure the digital revolution doesn't leave anyone behind.
Then we have the invisible workhorse of the whole operation, the National Automated Clearinghouse, or NACH. You know when your salary just magically appears in your bank account on the first of the month? Yep, that's NACH. When your car loan EMI gets automatically deducted right on time? NACH again. It's this brilliant centralized system specifically designed to handle massive volume, repetitive bulk transactions securely without you ever even noticing it's there.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the NPCI touches your life even when your phone is just sitting in your pocket. Through Bharat Bill Pay, you can manage everyday utilities like electricity, water, gas, all through a single interoperable window with instant confirmation. And then you have FASTag. Using RFID tech, the National Electronic Toll Collection System lets you drive straight through a highway toll plaza without stopping. The toll is just automatically deducted from your linked account. It's smooth, it's fast, and it just works.
Oh, and even the trusty old paper check got a massive digital upgrade through the Check Truncation System, or CTS. Instead of physically driving paper checks around from bank to bank, which, used to take days and ran the risk of things getting lost in transit, CTS just captures an electronic image and the data right at the depositing branch. It's all cleared online now, making the whole shebang faster and way safer.
Finally, Section 4, Expanding Beyond Borders, taking this homegrown infrastructure to the world.
So, to manage this frankly ridiculous scale, the NPCI spun out two major subsidiaries. First up, NPCI Bharat Bill Pay Limited, or NBBL, which focuses purely on handling domestic business-to-consumer bill payments and managing that massive, growing local traffic. Second, you have NPCI International Payments Limited, or NIPL, and NIPL has a massive mandate: export India's homegrown tech like UPI and RuPay to the rest of the global market. Now let me tell you, NIPL is moving incredibly fast. I mean, imagine standing at the Eiffel Tower, scanning a QR code, and paying directly from your local Indian bank account. Crazy, right? Well, because of NIPL's partnership with Lyra in France, that is actually a reality today. They're collaborating with the Central Bank of Peru to build South America's fast payments infrastructure. They are linking up with Malaysia's PayNet. The tech that conquered India is absolutely stepping out onto the world stage.
Let's just look at this timeline real quick, because it shows how insanely fast things are moving. From the NPCI starting as a nonprofit in 2008 to the explosive pilot launch of UPI in 2016. Fast forward to 2026, and the Reserve Bank of India, partnering with the Bank for International Settlements, is expected to go live with Project Nexus. This initiative is literally going to link the domestic fast payment systems of multiple countries together into one seamless global network.
Look, the success of this infrastructure is just undeniable. Today, UPI handles roughly 90% of all retail digital transactions in India. 90%. It has completely eclipsed the older methods. It's brought millions of underbanked citizens directly into the formal financial fold. It's spurred unprecedented tech innovation, and it has absolutely set a new gold standard for digital public infrastructure everywhere.
Which, I think, leaves us with one incredibly provocative question. Will an Indian nonprofit organization, originally built just to serve its own citizens, ultimately become the definitive blueprint for the entire world's financial infrastructure? As we watch the NPCI's global footprint expand, the invisible engine of India might just become the invisible engine of the globe. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and hey, keep your eyes on the horizon. The way we pay is only going to get faster from here.